biggest NFL game of the week. As you can see, we've got the winter shadows. They've overtaken almost the whole field. Maybe we'll walk around to the sunny part of the field over the course of the next few minutes. 49ers, Bears. George Kittle unlikely to play, but it is still possible that he suits up. In fact, we might see part of George Kittle's pregame workout to test out the ankle over the course of the next few minutes. He's not been spotted yet on the field here at Levi's Stadium, but we're going to get the final update to you as soon as possible as they're getting some of the pregame stretching stuff set up here on the end zone. Now, the 49ers, what's at stake here as the first 49er takes the field? That's Dominic Pooney. Could see him right behind the goalpost. There he is. That's the 49ers starting right guard, Dominic Pooney, second-year man. This field right here, if the 49ers can win the next two games, will host at least one NFC playoff game, and it will continue hosting the 49ers as long as they keep on winning. And if they do make the postseason, then this end zone would be painted in red with the saloon font. There's Dominic Pooney getting ready. We'll keep our eyes open for George Kittle on this field. The Bears team bus showed up a little while ago, so you could see some staffers doing their walk around the field to begin this game. And as soon as we have that George Kittle status, then we will report it for you. The 49ers have to announce whether Kittle is active or inactive 90 minutes before game time. That is the deadline for the 49ers to submit that list. So 5:20 p.m. Pacific time, you do the reverse math, that's going to be 3:50 p.m. Pacific time for the active inactive list for the 49ers. Earlier today, sorry, I think you lost my audio. Whenever I flip the camera, sometimes that happens. That's my fault. Had Seattle lost, today's game would be for the one seed. The winner of the Bears 49ers would get up into that number one spot. That did not happen. So the 49ers and the Bears positioning themselves for next week. The 49ers can still pass Seattle, controlling their own destiny by beating the Seahawks next week, but only if they beat the Bears today. The Bears would actually rely on the 49ers if they won today to beat the Seahawks next week for them to get the one seed. The problem for Chicago would be that if the 49ers lose today, they're essentially locked into the number 6 seed, and the 49ers might rest their starters next week against Seattle. So, obviously a bunch of different permutations of what can happen. I think that the main thing to remember is the 49ers just need to focus, and the Bears just need to focus on what's on this field tonight, Sunday Night Football, and then the rest will sort itself out. 49ers and the Seahawks are the only two teams in the NFC who still control their destiny for that number one seed. It is a historically strong NFC West. The 49ers, the Seahawks, and the Rams all at least 11 wins on this season. They're all in the same division. It's a very bad NFC South that's going to be determined between Carolina, who lost to Seattle today, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who lost to the Miami Dolphins today. But it's funny because that NFC South winner, as bad as the NFC South is going to be seated ahead of two of the NFC West teams, just the way that it works. If you win your division, you're one of the top 4 seeds. If you don't win your division, no matter how good you are, the best you're going to be is seed number 5. So that is what is on the line before Brock Purdy and Caleb Williams take the field here at Levi's Stadium tonight. Field's starting to get a little more crowded. You can tell that Sunday Night Football is upon us. We walk a little bit over this way, and this is going to be the Sunday Night Football setup. They obviously are not on the air yet, so we can walk and check out some of their cameras. This is going to be the desk. You could see all their microphones. Got a little Christmas tree set up, wireless mics, that helps, cordless. And, when they're doing their show, they can look at the screen right here. So they can see highlights right in front of them. And it's set to Football Night in America. The lighting is going to be on. Clear skies here today at Levi's Stadium, as you can see. Probably not going to be as nice next week when the 49ers play Seattle. Rainstorm in the forecast. Here it's going to be chilly but clear. There's Dominic Pooney remains the only 49er here on the field ahead of the game. I think soon, at some point, we're going to see San Francisco take the field in greater numbers. So this is where I usually sit. We're at the very top, right above Eddie DeBartolo Jr. That's where the press box is, high up here at Levi's Stadium. And then you can kind of rotate around and you can see where the TV broadcast booth is. Unfortunately, no Greg Papa tonight. Greg not feeling well, battling leukemia. It is in remission. He thought that he was going to make his return to the KMBR radio booth for the 49ers, but that is not going to happen tonight. He did not think that it would be a good idea to announce today's game. So our thoughts out to Greg. Obviously means a whole heck of a lot to him. He's been so courageous in his battle against leukemia, and he's been doing his best to come back as quick as humanly possible. And he wants to be out there calling these games more than anybody, but unfortunately, just not feeling up for it today. And he decided to make the smart call and not be out here on the call, which is just too bad because there might be an epic moment tonight. The Bears have played a lot of special games this year. The 49ers have obviously played a lot of special games this year. You would love to hear Greg Papa's voice on the call, but that is not going to happen. Maybe next week when the 49ers take on the Seahawks, but it's up to the 49ers to play a game today that makes next week truly matter so that Greg can potentially make his return then. So in a way, playing for Greg Papa to give him another chance to get up into the booth here at Levi's Stadium, which would be right up there for the radio booth. Still no signs of George Kittle. Remember, 3:50 p.m., 90 minutes before game time would be the deadline for George Kittle and the 49ers to put in those that inactive list. And the inactive list will either formally rule George Kittle out or give him a chance to play in this football game. So I will report whenever we get word of that happening. And that's going to be up on the X feed. That's going to be up here on the YouTube channel. We'll get all that to you before or when it does happen before kickoff of this game. My prediction for today, 49ers 31, Bears 28. I do think that they are a better team than Chicago, but I think that the rest for the Bears, they have a rest advantage in this football game, is a significant deal. Ben Johnson is one of the best in the game. He is the Chicago Bears head coach. He's had 2 extra days to prepare over the 49ers, and Kyle Shanahan just doesn't work out all too well for San Francisco in that regard. So although they have been significantly better than Chicago from an analytics perspective this year, that rest disadvantage may even things out, and I think it's going to be a dogfight today. You got to get ahead, and you have to force Caleb Williams to pass, and obviously you have to shut down a run game that went into Philly and dominated the Philadelphia Eagles. And if you force Caleb Williams to pass, he hadn't been accurate, he hadn't been efficient this year. I think the 49ers can be in really, really good position here at Levi's. Grass in great shape. It was raining a lot this week, and they had it under the tarps. And when you have the grass under the tarps, the way that the 49ers do, and then you have the grow lights here at Levi's Stadium, it is the best grass in the NFL by far. It's crazy. This place opened 11 years ago. The Bears were actually the first opponent of the 49ers here at Levi's, and it was a comeback win. Jay Cutler was the quarterback of the Bears in that game, and that was the first sign that 2014 was going to be a slog for San Francisco. The final year of Jim Harbaugh, the first year of this stadium, Bears beat the 49ers in the inaugural game. The year before, 2 years before, 2012, San Francisco beat the Bears at Candlestick. That was the Colin Kaepernick debut game for the 49ers when he just tore up Chicago's defense. Since then, the Bears, I'm going to go off my memory. I know they were here in 2018 and they beat Nick Mullins and the 49ers. And of course, they were here last year. The 49ers just thrashed Caleb Williams. That was one of the bright spots in an otherwise down year for the 49ers. But there's been a coaching change for Chicago since then. And you can't really look at last year and have it be something that determines the prognosis for this 2025 game. Both teams 11-4, biggest game in the NFL. Who wants to see the headsets. You guys want to walk through the TV set here? Check out the sideline of the 49ers before we sign off. Look, we could walk right in front of the NBC cameras. This is where they're going to be. This is going to be the desk. And you can see all the 49ers equipment here on the sideline. We can see all the headsets and all that good stuff. These are all the 49ers equipment crates. And then here, if you walk up straight to it, you can see the headsets of Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh. That's what they're going to wear during this game. So we walk, they may even have some heaters on the 49ers sideline today. Anyway, that's your stadium tour. No sign of George Kittle yet, so I will report on that in a little bit. We'll talk to you guys soon. 49ers Bears coming up.